Hello and welcome to this video, and I'll be telling you who I think could win Eurovision 2024 the day before the show.
A disclaimer. I hadn't addressed this before because I had hoped that the EBU would come to the correct decision by now, but since they have not, I do need to address it myself. Israel should not be allowed to participate at the Eurovision Song Contest 2024. If Russia hadn't been banned in 2022, maybe we'd be having a different conversation right now, and on a personal note, maybe Eurovision wouldn't have become such an important part of my life, but this is the reality that we are living in, so this is the conversation that we are having. Regardless of what you think of the current atrocities happening in Gaza, intentionally cutting off other people's access to food, water, and electricity is abhorrent, not to mention the act of killing. If you think governments and broadcasters should be considered as separate entities, consider the situation with Russia again. There is a video explaining why Israel shouldn't be allowed to participate linked in the description, and the creator also calls to action about what you can do yourself. Please watch that video and do something. Further resources are also listed as and when they become relevant. I'll stop talking about this when it stops being relevant.
I've put up all my hearts around me in the running order from left to right, and then the non-qualifiers alphabetically below them because they're still part of Eurovision 2024. As I'm filming this, there's a lot happening over on social media, a lot of drama, a lot of uncertainty, so I'll try and be taking that into consideration somewhat, but for the most part I'll be going about this video as if nothing had happened. I think that we've got 6 true possible winners plus 3 honourable mentions that I would like to quickly say a word or two about, because I think they still do have a teeny tiny chance at winning. The first one of those being Ireland. I don't think that they can win, but the stage show is epic and they really are giving it their all. A lot of people seem to be very, very happy with it after the semi-finals, and obviously they've shot up in the betting odds. However, I'm worried that it's a bit too much for casual viewers. Then again, could we have said the same about Lordi in 2006? Maybe. So I think there's still a tiny chance for them. I'd also like to mention Norway as a potential winner because the song is just epic. They're an epic band who really have experience at performing. Once again, I'm worried this is too niche for a casual viewer, but because it's so professional, maybe it could still do it with a decent running order that it's got. And then I'd also like to mention Ukraine as a potential winner. Not one of the probable winners in my opinion anymore because of their running order, which is pretty bad. Nobody's ever won from the second position, but if there is anyone who can do it, it would probably be Ukraine or Sweden or Italy. I still think it's possible, but I think there's too much drama happening around Eurovision this year otherwise for them to do it, and the running order doesn't help. Now onto the countries who I truly think could be winning still. The first one I'd like to mention, and hence the least likely according to me, is the Netherlands. I'm very concerned about it. I don't know if Joost is still even taking part at Eurovision right now because there's just so much happening. He's been suspended for right now. I did think for a second, is this just a publicity stunt because he's been winning at the social media game, so maybe he's playing that game exactly still, but he does seem very angry in some of the clips that we do have, so I don't think it is. However, the song itself is the kind of song that could absolutely win Eurovision, especially in a year where there's less televote competition, but even in such a strong year, it could still absolutely win. It's got the sad bit at the end for the juries. I think it's still possible, if he's even still taking part, but I think it's the least likely of the 6 options that I think are really still in it for the win. In the 5th spot, I've got France, who are largely helped out by the running order. For me, him interacting with the camera is a little bit odd, but maybe casual viewers will find that interesting. I don't know, we'll have to see. I just had different expectations for the performance, so if someone's seeing it for the first time, maybe they think it's brilliant. The path for this to win is that he gets loads of jury votes and quite a healthy televote as well, because people who don't want the crazy songs will be voting for it, as it's one of the last, well, it's the last truly normal classical song that we've got in the competition. And yes, televoting's open from the start of the show, but I still think from previous years, if they don't make it big enough of a deal at the start, that people could still be in the habit of voting at the end. I know I'm planning to vote at the end, to be honest. In the 4th spot, I've got Italy. I would have had this higher, but the staging is a bit too dark for me. It feels like there's not much that you can really see during the whole performance, and it's slightly helped out by the running order, but it's right in the middle and it could get forgotten. However, we don't know how important the running order is this year because A, televoting opens at the start of the show, and B, apparently the recap clips are shown in reverse order at one point. She's still in the middle of that, so it's not helping her. but it could help some of the people earlier on in the show. And up next for me is, unfortunately, Israel. I never thought I'd have them in my winners prediction. However, after the events of last night and Rai accidentally publishing the apparently official televote scores of them getting almost 40% of the vote, I do see a way forward now for this, especially as it is a jury-baity song in nature. However, I wonder if the juries will take into account that they're only half anonymous and hence not vote for it because they're worried about the social repercussions, or if they won't care. I see a way in which this gets more televote than jury points, despite that beating every single pattern that we know of the style of song, because the televote is truly anonymous. There is also a chance that the 40% from Italy is just a really small number of people watching the semi-final, and hence it's not actually that many people, it's just people who are protesting anti-protests in a way. That's also a possibility. And the other possibility is Israel and Italy performed right next to each other. Maybe some people got confused and thought they still had to send Italy through to the grand final while voting from Italy. That's a weird theory, but I've seen it thrown about, and maybe it's possible. I don't know. It seems like a very weird situation anyway, and if Israel did win, I don't know what I'd do with Eurovision for next year, to be honest. And maybe even after that. It feels disingenuous to the message of the competition to have a country win whose broadcaster is working so closely with the government doing so much damage. That would feel very odd, and I don't know what I'd do. However, moving on to a more positive note, I do think the second most likely winner right now is Switzerland, after all. The song is slightly more jury-baity than the first song that I'll be saying, and it's still got a really, really good televote potential with the spinning disc, Nemo doing those running acrobatics as they're performing. I think it's absolutely possible that this also gets a very, very massive televote, and juries looking for something so vocally impressive will have to give it points. I'll be so surprised if this gets a low jury score, because that'd be totally undeserved. Especially with a late running order, which theoretically is meant to help the televoters more, but we've still seen juries fall victim to giving less points to songs earlier on. And I'd love for Switzerland to win. I think that would be such a fun thing to have Nemo as the winner in this epic song that mixes so many genres. I don't know that it definitely can happen, but I think it's pretty possible, and that would be very, very exciting indeed. However, to me, the most likely person to win now, still, and again, is Croatia. Maybe the t-shirt kind of gave it away. I don't know. But yeah, I see this getting a very, very healthy televote, naturally, because of the type of performance it is. Maybe casual viewers still remembering Karja from last year and wanting to give a redemption arc to this kind of song. Could also be a possibility. I know they're not similar, but there are similarities in the vibe, so I could still see casual televoters giving this points. And we have to remember that, I'll continue with the Karja comparisons, I apologise, I don't mean it truly, I think these are two different songs, but the vibes are similar, and I think Karja got like 150 points from the juries last year, and that song is way less stomachable to juries usually than Rim Tim Tagi Dim is, because Cha 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 was in Finnish and changed genres. Rim Tim Tagi Dim stays where it is, and it's in English. I think it's a much more stomachable song for the juries, and could also get a really good result because of the running order. So I think right now, if I was to be betting money on this, I would be saying Croatia, which would also be pretty exciting, because what a fairy tale story, from not even being meant to be in Dora to winning the whole Eurovision Song Contest. And also it'd be very good for the future of the contest, because we'd have a cheaper country to go to next year, and that would also mean that maybe other countries who are currently not participating could come back. Maybe Romania, maybe Bulgaria, maybe Hungary, maybe, if they manage to get their finances in order, Bosnia and Herzegovina, maybe Montenegro, maybe North Macedonia, and so on and so forth. We could get a lot of countries back. We could get over the 40 mark next year if Croatia does win. So honestly, I think this is the best winner as well as the most likely winner. Also a song with cats around it. Like, I just think this would be a magical win, and I'm so down for Rim Tim Tagi Dim to win. I'm not getting my hopes up just yet, because I honestly think that the 6 winners that I've mentioned and the 3 honourable mentions are all still in with a chance, depending on how stuff goes on the night. Like, if Baby Lasagna, and touch wood, I do not wish that on him at all. If he manages to lose the beat for a few seconds, that could impact people not wanting to vote for him. But I think it's still the most likely and best option for our winner, so I'm hoping he'll win as well, because that would just be magnificent, honestly. Those are my thoughts on who is the most likely winner of Eurovision 2024. I do think it is Croatia, but I'm nowhere near as sure as I was last year between Kaya and Loreen. I think in my head, I did know last year that it would be Loreen, but in my heart, I was letting myself keep the hope that it would be Kaya until the morning of the show, and until I was standing in the arena and we saw Kaya's result, and I figured, yeah, Loreen's getting over 200 televotes though. So until that moment, I was letting myself have hope. But this year, I genuinely don't know. I don't even know who will be on the split screen. Like, I absolutely no idea. And I think that's very exciting. Also very stressful. I'm going to be getting all of the people I know, all my family and friends, to be sending votes for Croatia or Switzerland, honestly, so that they both have a chance at winning. I haven't decided yet. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe I'll just send them text saying they can choose who to vote for, but please do vote for one of these two. Because I'm worried if we do split the vote too much between various favourites, Israel could sneak through. I've chosen not to boycott Eurovision this year, just about, but I think the people who are boycotting it are absolutely valid in their decision. And, in a way, are actually almost helping Israel win the whole thing. Indirectly, of course, but if there were more people who are pro-Palestine in watching Eurovision and voting for anyone other than Israel, they'd also have a lower proportion of the televote points. So I think we just do need to focus on one country, ideally, everyone else. But I don't know if that's possible. I don't think that's possible to organise. It's a very complicated Eurovision year. I know they thought there'd be so much both drama and serious conflict involved in Eurovision, and this is absolutely not an apolitical event this year. Whatever the EBU says, it's extremely political. And that's pretty sad, to be honest, because I like the idea of it being non-political, but in practice it never works out, obviously. Like, after the Berlin Wall fell, there were also so many songs about borders being opened up and whatever. So, like, it's never apolitical, but I'm not very happy with the decisions the EBU has been making this year. I'm still enjoying the competition overall. Absolutely, I'm loving discovering all these artists and seeing the wonderful stage performances. And in a way, I am sorry for Eden for going through this, but theoretically she could have also said no, but I realise it's a big opportunity to turn down. And I honestly think the easiest thing would have been for the EBU to just ban Israel, because now there's all this extra drama that nobody needs the day before the final, and maybe on the day of the final we'll have to see how things go. I didn't expect to get so emotional at the end of a winner prediction video, but this is honestly what it's feeling like. Anyway, on that slightly drab note, thank you ever so much for watching this video. I really do hope that you enjoyed it, that you got something out of it. I'll see you in the next one, whether that shows up on your feed. Bye! Bye!